is Priyanka Jena. Today we will start first unit of biology, that is reproduction in organisms. This unit contains 4 chapters, that is first reproduction in organisms, second plant reproduction, third reproduction in animals, and fourth reproductive health. Okay, this chapter contains and this unit contains maximum number of long questions. Okay, so first chapter is reproduction in organisms. You all know what is the meaning of reproduction. The meaning of reproduction is a biological process in which new organisms are formed from their parents, and biological term the new organisms are called offsprings. So what is reproduction? Reproduction is a biological process by which new organisms are formed from their parents, and in biological terms the new organisms are also called as offsprings. Okay, so every organism has their own lifespan, and lifespan means the time period between birth to death. This time period is known as lifespan. This lifespan has different phases. That is, first phase is birth, second is juvenile phase, third is reproductive phase, fourth is aging. In case of human being, it is called aging, and in case of plants, it is known as senescence. And final, it is death. So, after birth, the juvenile phase means it is the phase of body growth and development. Here, the individuals are immature reproductively. In reproductive phase, they are able to produce their own kinds. Finally, aging, and it leads to death. The lifespan of every individual varies according to their life. That is, one organism having shortest lifespan. That is mayfly. It is having only 24-hour life. In this 24 hours, it takes birth, it hatches, develops into pupa, then it becomes juvenile and adult, then it becomes reproductively mature, then aging and death occurs. So, the very surprising thing is that in the gap or the time taken for reproduction and death is only 5 to 7 minutes. And the longest lifespan in animals is tortoise. That is about 300 to 400 years in average. But in some cases, the tortoise can live up to 600 to 700 years. Next, in case of plants, some plants may live up to 1000 years. So, that is all about the lifespan of an organism, which consists of 4 phases, that is birth, juvenile phase, reproductive phase, aging or senescence, and final death. And in this chapter, we will particularly discuss about the reproductive phase of the organisms. First, we will discuss about types of reproduction. Starting from the unicellular organisms to the multicellular organisms, they have different type of or generally two modes of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Reproduction is of two types, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, generally it is single parent is involved, so it is known as uniparental, means there is only one single parent of the offsprings or individuals. In sexual reproduction, it is known as biparental, means it involves one male and one female. So this is known as biparental mode of reproduction. In asexual reproduction, no formation and fusion of gametes. In sexual reproduction, gametes are formed and they are fused to form zygote. In asexual reproduction, there is no formation of gametes, whereas in sexual reproduction, gametes are formed. The male one produces gamete, that is known as spawn, and the female one produces gametes, that is known as ovum. By the fusion of sperm and ovum, sperm is known as a type of gamete and ovum is also known as a type of gamete. When sperm and ovum fuses, it develops into zygote. Zygote further develops, it develops into embryo, then embryo to fetus, and gradual development leads to formation of a complete individual. This is the two difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Third type of difference is only mitotic type of cell division takes place. Here both type of cell division, that is mitosis and meiosis, cell division takes place. As we know, cell division is two types in the living organism. One is mitosis and other is meiosis. Mitosis is otherwise known as equational division, though the offsprings contain same number of chromosomes as the parental cell. So it is known as equational division or mitosis. Meiosis, also known as reductional division, means the cells contains half number of chromosomes to their parental cell. In case of asexual reproduction, the cell only possesses mitotic type of cell division. In case of sexual reproduction, the gametes are formed by the meiotic process and the next further development occurs by the mitotic process. Why? Because the gametes are always haploid in nature, whereas in an organism the body contains diploid cells. Diploid means two set of chromosomes. In case of human being, 23 is equal to N. So each cell or each somatic cell of your body or each germinal cell of your body contains 23N2N or 23 into 2 equal to 46 number of chromosomes. Each cell of your body. When a cell undergoes meiosis, it produces two cells, each cell having 23 or N number of chromosomes. And this cell is known as haploid. This cell is known as haploid and this cell is known as diploid. So, every gamete is haploid in nature, that is either sperm or ovum. and every zygote, or when two gamete fuses, it produces a diploid zygote. Next, 4. Individuals formed by asexual reproduction are identical to their parents, or they are called clones. They possess recombination and variation. Okay, so in mitotic process or in the asexual reproduction, the individuals are formed have the similar character to their parents. There is no difference between the offsprings and their parental characters. So, though they have exactly similar genetical character, that's why they are known as clone or copy of their parents. In case of sexual reproduction, meiosis occurs, crossing overs occurs, linkage occurs. So, the individuals or the cells are formed. They are different from their parents. They possess some extra character that is different from their parents. And this character is known as recombination and variation. Next, the offsprings produced by asexual reproduction are less adaptable to their environment. Means, though they do not develop new character or adaptive character which help them to suit in the environment, that's why they are less adaptable to the environment. But in sexual reproduction, though the individuals changes themselves, or in each generation there is variation, recombination occurs. So the individuals are more adapted to the environments. So which one is beneficial according to the mode of adaptation? That is sexual mode of reproduction. Next, types of asexual reproduction. So, we have already discussed about asexual reproduction, which is uniparental. The individuals are formed by asexual reproduction are completely identical to their parents. Only mitotic or mitosis type of cell division occurs in asexual reproduction. Now we will see what are the types of asexual reproduction. First type of asexual reproduction is fission. Second is budding. Third, fragmentation. Fourth, sporulation. Fifth, plasmodium. So, these are the 5 types of asexual reproduction. First, we will discuss about fission. What is the meaning of fission? Fission means splitting of body of an organism into 2 parts is known as fission, or splitting, division of anything into 2 parts is known as fission. And fission is of 2 types, that is binary fission and multiple fission. First we will discuss about binary fission. See, bi means 2. Fission means splitting of anything into 2 parts is known as fission. So, binary fission means splitting of body of an organism into 2 parts is known as binary fission. Binary fission is again divided into 3 types, that is irregular binary fission, longitudinal binary fission. Irregular type of binary fission is seen in case of amoeba. As we know, amoeba do not have a definite body shape. It changes its body shape according to environment because the whole body of the amoeba have pseudopodia or false feet. That's why amoeba having a indefinite body shape. So, though it have an indefinite body shape, that's why the plane of division is also indefinite. So, this type of division is known as irregular binary fission. Next, longitudinal binary fission is a type it is seen in case of euglena, in which the body divides in longitudinal axis into two euglenoids. Next, transverse binary fission, it is seen in Paramecium, in which the body divides into two halves in transverse plane. So, these are the three types of binary fission. Okay. Now, so what is the binary fission? Suppose this is the amoeba. Amoeba generally performs binary fission in favorable condition. What is the meaning of favorable condition? When nutrition, surrounding is well adaptable. At that moment, amoeba prefers to reproduce by binary fission method. Okay, in which the body splits into two amoeboids and each individual develops into a amoeba. And such type of organisms are known as immortal. Immortal means they do not have natural death because one amoeba divides into two amoeba. Next, they will again divide into two amoeba. So, they do not have natural death. Accidentally, if you crush an amoeba, if you take an amoeba and crush it, then definitely it will die. But naturally, they do not have natural death. So, they are known as immortal organisms. Okay, and binary fission is the quickest and commonest method of reproduction or asexual reproduction. Every protozoans mostly perform binary fission because it is the quickest method, because simply the body divides into two parts, two equal halves, and each half containing nucleus and other cell organelles. Later on, each part develops into a new organism or new amoeba. Okay, next, let's see multiple fission. Multiple fission is a type of fission in which the body of an organism divides into a number of individuals. That is known as multiple fission. It is generally seen in case of the Plasmodium. Plasmodium is the malarial parasite. Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum. These are the different species of Plasmodium. So, Plasmodium first multiplies its nucleus into many, and in favorable condition or in during favorable condition, the cell wall ruptures and each nucleus with some amount of cytoplasm. Each nucleus containing some amount of cytoplasm releases to outside, and these will develop into a new Plasmodium. In case of amoeba also, during unfavorable condition, when the surrounding is not available totally or the food is not available, at that time amoeba makes a three-walled cyst or a protecting layer outside the body, and the nucleus inside the body continuously divides. When the favorable condition returns, the walls ruptures and the nucleus comes out having some amount of cytoplasm. and each one develops into a new amoeba. Understood? This is the two types of fission. One is binary fission, another is multiple fission. Binary fission is again of three types, that is irregular binary fission, transverse binary fission and longitudinal binary fission. Irregular binary fission is seen in amoeba. It is called irregular because amoeba have no definite body shape. Transverse binary fission, the body divides in transverse axis, so it is known as transverse binary fission. It is seen in Paramecium. Longitudinal binary fission, it is seen in Euglena. The body divides in longitudinal axis, so it is known as longitudinal binary fission. And in multiple phase fission, one organism gives rise to multiple number of individuals, so it is known as multiple fission. Second method of asexual reproduction is budding. What is the meaning of bud? Bud is a outgrowth of parental body. Parental body. Bud is an outgrowth of parental body, and budding is of two types, that is exogenous budding and endogenous budding. So exogenous budding means if budding or outgrowth of something on the parental body takes place on outer surface of the body, then it is known as exogenous budding, and if it takes place inside the body, then it is known as endogenous budding. First is exogenous budding, that is in yeast. First it is seen in yeast. Yeast is a unicellular fungus. Yeast is a unicellular fungus. Suppose this is the yeast, a small outgrowth develops in its body. This is called as bud. After growth, the bud detaches from the parent body and develops into a new yeast. This is known as exogenous budding in case of the unicellular organism, that is yeast. And second is budding in hydra. Hydra is a coelenterate and invertebrate animal. In hydra, this is body attached to substratum and it consists of tentacles. A small outgrowth develops in body of hydra, that is known as bud. Later on, the bud develops and looks like a mini hydra. After that, it gets nutrition and everything from the parental hydra. This is parental hydra and this is the miniature, or this is the budding of hydra. After fully growth and development, it will detaches from the parent body and develop into a new hydra, and it starts its individual life. This is known as budding in hydra. So budding is of two types, that is exogenous budding and endogenous budding. In exogenous budding, first thing is yeast. Yeast is a single cellular fungus in which a small bud develops in yeast outside of the yeast body, which after complete development detaches from the parental body. In case of hydra also, a small outgrowth develops in body of hydra, which later on takes nutrition and after complete development detaches from the parent body and starts its individual life. This is exogenous budding. Why it is called exogenous? Because the budding takes place outside the body surface. So it is known as exogenous budding. In endogenous budding, the budding takes place in case of inside the body, and it takes place in spongilla. Spongilla is a porifera and it is single spongy. Spongina is the only poriferan that is single freshwater spongy, means it lives in fresh water. Next, this is the body of Spongilla. Body is completely perforated. This is the pores. Suppose this is the body wall of Spongilla. The body contains the gammules. This is the opening of body. After development and maturation, these gammules get out of the body and develops into a new Spongilla. So, what does it look like? It looks like inner mass of cells. The gammules look like these are known as gammules. The gammules look like inner mass of cell having a gelatinous coating and a mouth-like structure or opening. This is the gelatinous coating which prevent the inner cell mass from desiccation or dehydration. And this gelatinous mass consists of the spicules. The gelatinous mass consists of the spicules. And the cells later, this part, ostiolum, attaches to the surface and this will develop into new organism or body parts of the Spongilla. And the cells are known as archaeocytes. The cells are known as archaeocytes. So, an endogenous budding is also known as gemmulation. This is the structure of gemmule. Okay, so budding is of two types, exogenous and endogenous. Endogenous is seen in Spongilla. Also it is known as gemmulation. In case of Spongilla, the inner body wall consists of gammules which after on maturation goes to outside and gives rise to new individual. Each gammule consists of an inner cell mass coated by gelatinous, next an outer opening. This part attaches to the substratum and the inner cell mass leads to development of body organs. And the inner cell mass or inner cells are known as archaeocytes. Okay. Third is fragmentation. Fragmentation is the simple process in which when body of an individual divided into so many parts and each part leads to development of a complete organism. This process is known as fragmentation. It is seen in case of algae, that is known as Spirogyra. Suppose these are the parts of body. When you will piece the Spirogyra into segments, that is this is Spirogyra algae. When you piece or cut them into pieces, then each piece leads to development of a new Spirogyra. This is known as fragmentation. Means each fragment of body have the capability to develop into a complete organism. When you fragment or piece the body of an organism into so many parts and each part is capable of developing of a new individual. That is process is known as fragmentation. Next, in case of animal, that is known as planaria. Planaria is a platyhelminthes in which when you cut the body into different pieces, each part of the body develops into new planaria. So, this is the simple method of reproduction, asexual reproduction, that is known as fragmentation. Fourth is sporulation. Sporulation is a process in which tiny particles are formed known as spores. Spores. The reproductive part is known as spores. Spores are of different types. That is, first is zoospores. Zoospores are seen in Chlamydomonas. Zoospores have Zoospores have small flagella-like structures. Zoospores means it is a motile spore. Motile means if a cell is capable of moving by itself or able to locomote, means it is able to change its position, then it is known as motile. Like in case of the human beings or the sexually reproducing organisms or animals, the sperms are motile and the ovums are immotile or non-motile, because sperms have a long ciliated or flagellated structure. So, zoospores are the motile spores. It is found in Chlamydomonas. Next, second is conidiospore or conidia. You know Penicillium? Penicillium is a type of fungus. In Penicillium, the body consists of small outgrowths, and that is known as, these are a type of spore, that is known as conidia. From upper side, they will detach from the parent body and develop into, these are called spores or conidia. They develop into a new organism. So generally, sporulation is a process in which organism produces tiny structures, that is known as spores. Spores are mainly of two types, that is zoospores, which is motile, and conidiospores, that is immotile. Zoospores are seen in Chlamydomonas, conidiospores are seen in Penicillium. And last type of asexual reproduction is plasmotomy. Plasmotomy is a process normally when a cell divides, first the nucleus division occurs, which is known as karyokinesis, which is then followed by cytokinesis. Means first chromosome number doubles or chromosome number reduces, then the cytoplasm divides, resulting two daughter individuals or two daughter cells. But in plasmotomy, the process is reversal. Means first cytoplasm divides, then the nucleus divides. Division of cytoplasm is known as cytokinesis, and division of nucleus is known as karyokinesis. So, in Opalina, this type of asexual reproduction is observed. Suppose this is the parental Opalina, and this consists of this much of cell, this much of nucleus. Generally, plasmotomy is seen in multicellular protozoans. So, multinuclear protozoans means generally an organism or a protozoan having single cell and each cell having one nucleus. But some protozoans are there like Opalina, there each cell contains number of nucleus. So, plasmotomy is seen in multicellular protozoans. It is a single cell consists of number of nucleus. First, the cytokinesis occurs, means a cell divides into two cells, each having suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each cell receives 5 nucleus. Next, this is known as cytokinesis because there is division of cytoplasm. Now, they will grow and they will again divide or they produce into the nucleus. Division will occur and lead to formation of paternal number of nucleus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. each cell growth and nucleus will divide and producing exactly paternal number of nucleus. This is the daughter opalina. So, plasmodemy is a process which is seen in multicellular protozoans in which each cell contains more than one number of nucleus. First, the cell follows cytokinesis, means there is no division of nucleus. There is only distribution of number of nucleus. After cytokinesis, the cell will grow. Now the division of nucleus takes place, leading to formation of exactly same number of nucleus as that of the parental cell. So this is known as plasmodemy. Here we have discussed about 5 types of asexual reproduction. First is fission, second is budding, third is fragmentation, fourth is sporulation, and fifth is plasmodemy. This is the asexual reproduction. In next class we will discuss about the vegetative propagation. This is another method of asexual reproduction. Vegetative reproduction is performed by the plants. Thank you.